Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. This is Fairy and I'm here with a couple of lovely people today who will introduce themselves.
My name's EVA. I live here in Houston, Texas. I am a marketer and also too I do Facebook Lives and I work. I'm a student, so yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Rakaya Seiki, or to be more specific, Rakaya, and I'm in a lot of various videos, so I'm a familiar face.
Sure.
Alright, my name is Landon Gregory. I'm a future alumni at the University of Houston downtown. I'm also president of the Black Student Association, 2016-17. Catch me outside, how about that?
Okay, so today we're gonna discuss about colorism, and I have a couple of questions for you guys to talk about. We all come from different backgrounds, so I want to know how colorism have affected you and just in general, like your experience with colorism. So my first question is, what is colorism to you guys in general?
Colorism to me is, I always look at my ethnicity and my background. So color is, I guess, what you appear to be at first from the outside. So that's what I would say.
Okay, what about you, Rakaya?
Colorism is when you judge a person by their skin color. Doesn't matter what their race are, but sometimes you automatically assume that just because they have this skin color that they're this race.
It's a social construct pretty much. Society looks at your skin color and determines how they should proceed at this point. Colorism is something I believe white supremacy started, and because of that, we still hold that theory today.
Yeah. Okay. We always talk about racism, but we really do not talk about colorism. We usually just put them together and make them one, right? So what is the difference between colorism and racism?
Well, when I think of colorism, like for me, it appears that it's like your outer appearance, like what someone's judging you by. You appear to look like you might be this race or that race. Racism is basically, I remember reading a study about this, that it's something that someone came up with. Like race doesn't have any definition or attachment. It's either ethnicity or nationality. So with that being said, basically it's almost as if we created connotation meanings to go with it. And basically for us in America, it means that, oh, you appear to be of this ethnicity. So because you appear to be of this ethnicity, then I will judge these list of things that I've actually experienced in the past of this person, and then I will attach that to you. So
that's interesting, actually. I've never seen it that way.
So colorism is when you judge someone specifically on their skin color. Racism is when you go off of stereotypes and you deliberately go out of your way to discriminate somebody based on a particular stereotype or their race.
Racism is something beyond colorism. Colorism is a small little thing that happens within a certain race. Racism is a majority of people controls a structure. They control the economy, they control social media, and because they have that control and that power, they can manipulate what people see and what people believe. So it's a big difference between colorism and racism. So
earlier you said white supremacy started colorism, but can you elaborate more on that?
Sure. If you look back in slavery time, the master, the white man, he had black people separated by skin colors. The dark-skinned people were working out in the fields, picking the cottons, while the light-skinned people were in the houses doing chores around the house. And so when the slaves outside saw that, it's like, okay, so I see how this man is showing favoritism towards this skin of color. The lighter you are, the nicer master is to you. So in a way, it created separatism. So now it's like you can't relate to what I'm going through, and it translates to what we're going through today. You know, you look at TV, you see how all these light-skinned women are always on TV, models, actors. You know, they the high paying, all that, and you very seldom see dark-skinned women on TV.
Right.
You know, it's just one example.
To, I guess, a little elaborate, because I do have some understanding of that background and how it is that basically I believe I'm going to throw the name out there. I believe it was Willie Lynch who came up with that mechanism basically to control slaves at that time. Nowadays, we would see them as like, okay, like an employer. Like at that standpoint, he was considered like, oh, let me teach these employers how to control your employees or these people. So he did that to basically separate them, and they were treated based on that. And of course, naturally, upon the abolishment of slavery, a lot of those practices are still implemented in our social gatherings, in our social contexts, unconsciously practiced. And we really don't really notice it. But also, too, similarity with that being said, even in other cultures, it's even practiced because of colonization. For example, I have a friend who's Pakistani, and she actually would say, well, I'm not white like them. And I'm thinking, what are you talking about?
Exactly.
And she's like, well, you see, they're white, I'm not. And so I started to realize how it's a trend where even amongst people who are Chinese, who are Pakistani, who are Hispanic, or wherever they may be, lighter is favored versus the darker. But now I feel like in our society, we actually are coming up against that, where people are being more proud and trying to express themselves, because we are just a society that's different of, you know, you can express your individuality. So yeah, that's what it is.
That's a really good explanation of it. And you?
What's the question?
To kind of like talk, I guess, about what he was saying.
Yeah, what causes, he said like the cause of colorism is white supremacy, and to elaborate more on it, because I'm pretty sure like in India, she's from India by the way, and
I'm
I
from
know,
America, my parents are from India.
but okay, your background is Indian, and I don't know if you know this since you're from America, they use different kind of skin lightening.
Oh yes.
To
It's called Fair and Lovely.
yeah, to make their skin look lighter and whiter. So what do you say about that? What do you think causes that?
Well, colorism, first of all, that's what makes people want to bleach their skin and make it lighter, but it's actually really bad for your skin. And so you should actually be proud of your natural skin color, the way it is. You know, you shouldn't go out of your way to feel insecure and, you know, bleach your skin. I have actually seen on Instagram where there's a model who had different skin colors, where it was like around her chin it was like really dark, and then like up here it was like a little lighter. And so the makeup artist, instead of matching her foundation to the darker skin color, she matched it to the lighter skin color and made her whole entire face lighter than it actually was. But when I saw the video, I was hoping that the makeup artist would match it to the darker skin tone, because that was actually really pretty. And because of colorism and, you know, all of that stuff, they made her look lighter.
So what do you think causes people to think my color is not pretty enough, and I want to lighten up my skin?
Yeah,
It's ingrained from generation to generation in society
Yeah.
and media and everything like that.
It goes back to media, you know,
Yeah.
and your environment that you're around.
Yeah.
If you're around people that glorize light skin, then, you know, as a young woman who sees that, she's gonna want to become light skinned so she can be pretty like everybody else.
Right.
So it's a matter of insecurity that not only women but men too feel. You know, I'm noticing that men are bleaching their skin too in different
No, I
countries.
didn't know about that.
Yeah, they're bleaching their skin, especially in Jamaica.
Yeah, I was gonna mention Jamaica.
Yeah.
They do that. The
They
men.
bleach their skin, and so they could look lighter, and they could try to pull as many girls as possible.
Yeah.
It
I
goes
watched a
to-
documentary
Yeah.
about that.
And,
So
you know,
it goes to like the standard we have of beauty, which is like the European style. We want to look like the white people, and so it goes to that.
it goes
that-
back to white supremacy.
Yeah,
At the end
so-
of the day, like
exactly.
you know, these people invaded these countries and they took over and they tried to put in their face, hey, this is how beauty looks.
Yeah,
Your people should try to look like us.
yeah,
And so that's when you have years and years and decades and those generations of that
yeah.
propaganda and media attention towards it. That's when everybody wants to be like that.
That's true.
Yeah.
And yesterday we did this a privilege walk where everything went to when she was talking about where they invaded your country and they bring you a new God, which is like a picture of Jesus, and it's white. So I'm pretty sure, and the Bible, and it says like I made mankind from like people who look like me, like so. People are gonna be like, if God is white, then why shouldn't I be? If God says He created me to look like Him, how come He's white and I'm black? You know. So it goes through that
But,
thinking.
you know, I'm just gonna stop right there. First of all, in the Bible, Jesus is not right. You know, they say he has bronze skin, hair of wool.
Yeah.
So you know, and a lot of people who really follow the Bible believes that Jesus is actually a black man. And you know, when again, white supremacy. That's gonna be the key word of the day: white supremacy. They made Jesus into this white man. You know, I don't know, he had blonde, brownish hair.
Pretty sure He didn't.
Don't really care, but you know, a white man nonetheless, and have everybody preaching, I mean not preaching, but praying to this false idol.
That's true.
But also too, I would like to actually talk a little bit about the whole racialism within each person's ethnic group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
wanted to go into that.
yeah.
That's-
So for me, actually, I actually have a tie, and I don't know if this is something that was created, I guess, over time or with colonization or what, but my father, he's from Nigeria, and my mother is from here. She's African American. And surprisingly enough, I was talking to you about this, how it's almost like I don't have a home. I cannot call myself Nigerian because I don't have the culture, I don't have the anything, I just have the blood in the name. And then when I'm amongst them, I'm different. It's like, no, you're African American.
Yeah.
And then when I go to African Americans and I tell them, oh, well, yeah, I'm African American because that's my mother. I mean, I feel like I should be African American. And basically they would say, well, what's your name? Oh, you have an African name. Oh, you're African. So I'm like,
You're like lost in the middle.
yeah, it's like you're caught in the middle of the two identities.
Yeah.
And it's to the point where even I've seen like certain feuds between the two groups where I didn't know this, but I would hear African Americans say, well, oh, this person is, African, or they don't like us, and then vice versa. And I'm like, I never knew that until actually I moved to Houston, where I had that big divide.
Yeah.
It is a divide, and I see it too. I was growing up, and I've always heard stories about how Africans saw African Americans as lazy, and they don't relate to us. All they do is do drugs, smoke weed, and just collect government assistance all day. So when you hear all that, and you're like, hey, we came from the same continent. Why y'all treating us like that? And then go back to history. Shoot, some Africans sold us to white people.
Oh yeah,
into slavery.
And
so
Ghana
it's
actually.
Go ahead. Yeah, and that plays a big role in that. So we're gonna feel that. Okay, we don't have this connect. We don't have this relationship because there's this line right here. And
okay, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
And until we address that, it's gonna always be there.
Yeah, and you're right. Ghana actually did an apology for African Americans by accepting every African American as a citizen as an apology for selling African Americans or Africans during the slave trade. Yeah. But I'm interested to hear from you, like your culture.
Actually, I actually went through this exact same thing that you went through. Yeah.
Let's hear about it.
So over here in America, I'm the Indian girl or something like that. But then when I go to India, I'm the American girl. So that leaves me in this predicament of what is my identity initially, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, since I was born and raised here in America, and I only go to India like every couple of years at a time or something, I have the American culture. Even though I do I wear Indian clothes, I eat Indian food, I speak an Indian language and everything like that. I do follow the Indian culture, but I'm in America and I was born and I live here, so essentially I'm just American. I'm just an American with a different background, and that's the beauty of America. What I find the beauty of America is that many different races and cultures can come together, and you know, they're free to express whatever they want.
Yeah, I really feel that is a part of America because, I mean, unfortunately, the history is quite brutal. Where, you know, like the people, the native people here, that they're completely almost extinct. It's sad, but. In that process, we were like recreated, where everyone basically made this place their home, but in essence still keeping their roots somehow, and creating that person to make a person of themselves. So it's like we're no longer, once we enter this land or we have this experience, it feels like you're no longer this attached to this bigger part over wherever your country was from. It's like you're a new person, a new identity in itself.
And why Africans and African Americans have always been having a problem is because Africans have a belief that we come from a new country and we learn new language, we learn new culture, and we still strive to be more successful. And we had a conversation with this guy where he said if 10 Africans came to America, 9 out of the 10 of them will be successful and have their own business, there will be something, while as the other 10 African Americans will still be lazy and not doing anything. But we really do not see, like, why did you leave your country? Why didn't you become successful in your country? It's because in your country you had a problem, you know? You come here, this is their country, and they also have problems as well. But we do not see that.
Another thing, you know, African Americans, we fought for to have equal rights, to have that equal opportunity as the white man. And you know, somebody coming from another country comes in and they benefit from that and go, okay, I just came here, I worked hard, this is where I'm at because I did this, 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 and this. I'm like, yeah, that's true, you did that, but also look at what we sacrificed so you could have that opportunity to come to this country and do what you have to do.
So the civil rights movement, everyone fought for is because wherever you come from, whether you come from Ethiopia, India, or anywhere from Asia, that you have the right to actually speak up when you're being done wrong, you know, because African Americans fought for it. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have the opportunity to come here and be free and be talking about like the dream and all that stuff. So my other question, which related to colorism, is have you guys dealt with anything prejudice or like anything against you because you're darker skin or lighter skin, or like in India, people who are whiter are seen as the more beautiful. So have you guys?
I haven't, you know, not directly, but I have been a part of it. I done have friends that are dark, and you know, I'll call them names and stuff like that too for fun, and you know, we'll cap on each other. Oh, okay, you ugly, you this, but we were kids at the time. That maturity wasn't there yet. You know, once you get to a certain age and certain maturity, you'll start to not see that as funny. Very special person in my heart. You know, she's a dark-skinned young lady, and all through her school years, you know, from elementary to high school, she's been picked on because of her dark skin. And, you know, because of that, now she seems insecure about her skin, and she has to look at other powerful dark-skinned women as motivation to push through.
Having an example is so important too, like a living example, and it's kind of hard, like when I think technology shot us up a couple hundred years. You know, we didn't get a chance to adjust. So I feel like back then, we have the back then, and then we have this very gray line, and then now we have this super advanced, you know, society, and, you know, it's totally different, and we don't have any examples, any living examples. We have a few, like Precious and the Sudanese model, and there's another one, I forgot her name, but I remember she was in like a Slave Master, 12 Years of My Slave movie.
Yeah.
And I forgot her name, but she was one of these. Yeah, she's
she's on Black Panther, right? Are you talking about her?
I think so. Yeah, but I cannot remember her name.
Are you talking about
Lupita?
Lupita. Okay, there she is. Yeah, she is very beautiful. But they just, if you pay attention, the Sudanese woman who was actually, and I cannot pronounce her name, but who was actually a part of the model, she was like famous, but she was like a silent famous. She came out like all of a sudden, and she was like a silent famous. She was still known in her in group, but she wasn't publicized so much. And you know, after that, then you know, you started seeing Precious, and she was beautiful. And then you started seeing what was her name, Lupita. Yeah. And basically, you started seeing them come out, and now it's like it's increasing more and more. So. But yeah, I'm sorry, I strayed from my question.
No, it's okay, it's good.
Yeah, because you know, I want to see Hollywood push more dark-skinned women to these roles. And, you know, not just that would be beautiful. You know, not just supporting roles, but leading roles.
Yeah.
You know, and not just okay, she's half naked, a sex scene, or she's sleeping with the president, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, I just want.
We're all like, yeah.
Actually, that's what Tyra Banks has been trying to push for, is pushing the beauty standard, and you know, finding beauty in many different ways and many different things, and not just this one particular standard.
Right.
Yeah. She's even had a season where some of the models were short. Like 5 feet and stuff like that. Like, you don't have to be tall to be a beautiful model and pose. You can be a short person and also do that as well.
Yeah. So actually, like for me, I have always wanted to be darker, because like especially after I came here, I have only been here for 10 years, but still in high school, the African kids, not even the African Americans, the African kids used to be like, you're not African. You must have an Arab on you or something. Like I have always, they're like, you guys have curly hairs, you guys are lighter skins, you're not African. So like I have always wanted to be darker to prove like I'm black, I'm African enough, you know? And it's not only that, like for me, I have always seen a darker skinned woman, and I have been like, this woman is gorgeous. I'm not saying like if you're lighter you're not beautiful. It's just for me, I have always seen the darker skinned woman as like some, I don't know, it's just gorgeous. So I have always wanted to be darker. But also everywhere, like in Ethiopia also, you're prettier when you're lighter. So Fair and Lovely has shipped to Ethiopia from India, and like the Ethiopia, whenever they're going to weddings, wherever, they put Fair and Lovely to look prettier. In reality, they're already gorgeous, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I know what you mean. Definitely. Yeah.
And
That
so,
was a good point.
so you guys have any? So you all of you don't have any
Direct
contact to being discriminated against because you're like darker or lighter. Because like for some you're dark or for some you're light, you know?
Actually,
like
yes. For
It doesn't really matter. You know, whether I'm light or dark by some, light by others. At the end of the day, I'm still a black man. And I still gotta fight for mine. So I still gotta go and make a living for myself and build that foundation that I want in my life. And you know, at any moment, an officer can pull me over and just shoot me or arrest me. You know, so it doesn't matter if you light or dark. You know, we're still fighting this struggle. We just need to get past that point as not only African Americans but Africans too.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, because
like you
they're
can
going
think
through
whatever
this
you
too.
want to think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You
They're
can
going
say
through
you're
the same
better
thing.
than African Americans, but once you're here, everybody sees you as black. You're black, whether you're successful or not. A cop sees you, you're a threat. You're a tag.
Unless
So,
they
yeah.
know you personally, they're not gonna know your name
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
by looking at you. You know,
Mhm.
Obama could get arrested too, and they don't. If he was not president and he was just walking down the street at night at a random ass neighborhood,
Yeah.
they could easily pull him over too, just like any other black man.
Mhm.
So it does not matter your skin color.
Yeah. You guys want?
So yeah, actually, during the summer in 2017, my brother got married, and during weddings, the Indian tradition is putting henna or mehendi on their hands, right? And so when I was over there, I was getting my mehendi done, and everyone was coming around and saying, "Oh, your white hand. The mehendi looks good on your white hands."
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
They the term that they usually use is gore gore, and gore gore means gore means pale.
Okay.
So when you say gore gore, that's just saying it twice and emphasizing it. So
So it's just you're
my
double
gore gore
white.
hand,
You're
my gore
extra
gore
white.
hata. Yeah.
That actually happened to me too, actually, where I was with some friends and we were just buying henna, just for fun. And I had put it on my hand and they were like, "Oh my God, your skin is so white." And I was just like, "You guys don't know how pretty you are. Like, I just want to be like you, And one was really, really dark, mashallah. And then the other one, she was like, brown, like this brown bronze. But, I mean, I didn't care. I was there to have fun and put on henna. But they just kept going on and on about, "Oh, your henna," just like, with that. And I was like, I don't care. Like,
What people don't understand is like at the masjids, if you see they have like flyers all over talking about asking for a wife for their children. If you have seen them, they ask for a fair-skinned girl.
Yes,
Wow.
They always ask
Which
for
always
fair-skinned
gets
people.
me so mad. I'm like,
Wow.
what the girl could
don't even get me started.
exactly like the girl can be as fair as you want her to be. She might have a darker heart than you think. Seriously, she can be like the most horrible wife, whatever you can find. I'm sorry to be talking bad about women because I love my woman, but like, her fair skin is not gonna bring you a good child. Her fair skin is not gonna cook you food. Her fair skin is not gonna change the world. Her heart is. So we should be talking about. Let's get to
I
this person.
understand physical appearance is important.
It is important.
It is
I
important
understand.
to a lot of people.
Yeah.
You don't want to wake up with oogly moogie next to your bed. That's
They say
just-
like I don't want to. Like my cousin said, I don't want to wake up and say Auzubillah. I want to wake up and say Alhamdulillah. But at the same time, having a darker skin doesn't make you ugly.
No, that's what I'm getting into. It's all about the character and the personality of that person. So looks is good, but I also want to be with somebody that has a good personality, a good
Exactly.
character, somebody that has a kind of heart, somebody that knows how to do things. Looks ain't gonna get you everything in life. What's use
Something
of you
might
being
happen
pretty
and
if you don't know
lose
how to cook? That's I'm sorry.
Let's not get there. Do you know?
I'm like, we have caterers. Like, but another video.
I'm talking about the Andes, like you don't know how to cook, you're a no.
Yeah.
So I'm like, focus on that, but don't really. But I don't know. It just really makes me mad. But this is the thing. I used to be the kind of person, if I get married, I want to marry a white boy or a very dark skinned boy. Like I didn't have anything in between. But like as I grow up, I'm like, just have a good heart. Please treat me well. Please cook for me.